So tell me, do you have any, let's talk about your left wrist. Do you have any pain in your left wrist right now? Have any recently?
Nope.
Ever?
Nope.
No accidents, no injuries? Any other signs or symptoms in your arm?
No.
Good. Okay, so there's my 4 questions. And then I'm going to inspect the area, and I want to make sure I cover all the surfaces. So you've got the palmar surface, the dorsal surface, and the medial lateral side. Yeah?
Just a question about the 4th question. You said any other signs or symptoms in your arm?
Yes.
I thought the signs and symptoms was a kind of catch-all for
It is.
a full system.
Right.
So why would you specify the arm?
Because when you're actually starting to, focus on an extremity area, what happens is, as far as you get away from the shoulder, the less chance there's going to be anything from systemic involvement.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so inspection. So we're going to make sure that we inspect the 4 sides. And there's particular anatomical structures that we want to make sure we look at because they're commonly injured and involved. So if I just look at the thumb side, I've got my anatomical snuff box. I've got 3 major tendons that cover, that create the borders of the snuff box. So you should know those tendons. We'll come back and palpate those in a second. So look at the thumb side. Look at the anatomical snuff box, what lives there. The artery and
Scaphoid.
scaphoid bone, the most commonly fractured bone in the wrist, right? Scaphoid. You're going to then look over the back of the hand, and in particular, if you extend your wrist a little bit, you'll see there's a depression there. Guess what bone lives there? Actually not. It's the distal to the lunate, the capitate. So right here, there's a little depression. It's in line with your 3rd digit. You see mine's right there. All right, now, so it's the capitate. The capitate's a very sad bone. It's in a state of depression. There's another bone in the foot and the ankle that's like that. It's the cousin to the capitate. It's the cuboid. Cuboid. Cuboid and the capitate are very depressed. Both in a state of depression. So there's the capitate. So look there to see that there's no swelling or fluid there. Continue your gaze over to this big structure here, the ulnar bump. Oh, I actually have a massive ulnar bump. I don't know why. Look at the size of that thing. What the heck is going on there? Which, I don't know if that's a function of playing racket sports as a kid, and that just sort of hypertrophy or whatever, but it's massive. And, but that's going to be an important landmark when we find our carpals on this side. So look at that. And then turn the hand over and look, at that, which is really the medial side, because there's a little styloid process off of that bump, the ulnar styloid. So on my page note, I just have you put your hands out. All right, so on this, and then finish off on the palmar surface. You're going to look at the wrist creases. You're going to look at the pisiform area. You're going to look at the hamate area. So pisiform is in line with the 5th, hamate's in line with the 4th, about an inch towards the thumb width. You're going to look across. You're going to look at the height of the thenar eminence. You're going to look at the base of the thenar eminence because there's two processes there: the scaphoid tuberosity, tubercle of the trapezium, and sometimes they are actually fractured. So you look at that. You look at the wrist creases. The main wrist crease actually is the joint line of the radiocarpal joint, which is basically the proximal row of the carpals and the big radial just under the radius. So right through here. So if you go this way, stick out your thumb. Okay, so now I'm looking at his snuff box, the tendons. Turn your hand over. All right, got a little discoloration there. Do you know what that's from? You burned? Oh, poison ivy scar. How long ago was that? Summer?
Yeah.
Usually these will last up to a year, and then they usually start to fade. Yeah. You had it pretty good. Yeah. Yep. Pretty good blisters. Yeah. Okay. So there's that. Look across. There's his bump. Not nearly as big as mine. Just so you know. So there's that. The joint lines there. Continuing on. This would be his ulnar styloid. And so now I've covered all the joint surfaces. Okay. And discoloration, abrasion, scars, edema, deformity. Distortions. If you just stand up for a second, just let your arms hang. And if you take a look at his wrist, he's in that gunslinger position. The wrist itself is going to hang in neutral. Sometimes like if you look at mine, I'm in sort of slight extension, so it's neutral to a little bit of extension is a typical resting position. Anything other than that, you're looking for, that'd be a distortion, okay? So just have a seat, so there's my eye, finishing off my eye, my inspection. Yep.
Wait, you mean if, like, say their thumbs reason were,
Yeah, if they're holding themselves in a flex position.
that's called distortion.
Yes, anything other than the neutral resting position, you know, which is different than the anatomic position. So what's the rest position and what's the positioning of that region at rest? So, and you'll see, like, for example, cerebral palsy patients, you know, that have a flexion deformity, you'll see that for rest. R, range of motion. So there's 4 osteokinetic motions for the wrist region. Right, so they are, so let me have you do this. Go like this, flex, you should come up, you should go to about 90 degrees. And go the other way, extend, you should go at least to 70. Right, turn your palms up. So here's this radial deviation, you should go about 20. Whew. Go the other way, 55. So the radial deviation, you're blocked by your long aspect, or the longer radial styloid versus the ulnar. So it's going short. So you should go 20-ish, and then almost 55. We can add some, so go like this. I can add some overpressure for flexion, so I go active and passive. That hurt it all? Go the other way. There it all. And deviate, and from there, a little bit more, come back the other way. There, so active and then into passive, so that's the R. We'll look at the directions, look at the amounts, look at what evidence has to see if it's painful. Yep.
I mean, like, for someone like me, I had encrypted nerves when I was like 12, so, I mean, I can't imagine someone pushing like this, but it was like
You just did.
forever. Yeah,
I
but.
mean, when it happened, or now.
Even now.
Hurts?
I'm just nervous about it. So, I mean, what, like,
Well, sometimes you have to just help them through their nervousness. But see, that would have come out in the history. When I said, did you ever have any injuries ever fall? That would have come out. So now I'm thinking, okay, I got to be careful with her because she's had some injury here. You know, then we would have gone into the full description of it and PQRST, all the stuff you do with a full history. Anything else? Should we try this with each other? Let's do this. So let's